Facebook. You never know what you're supposed to say when these things start. You're like, hello, somebody who's out there. I'm Dr. Radecke, and I'm going to have a lot of fun today because it's Tuesday, and why the heck not? Transformation Tuesday. I keep looking at my guest, which you are not allowed to meet until I'm done with this ridiculous slideshow, but it's going to be a very exciting talk because I've been looking forward to this for a long time. All right, the name of this talk is Physical Training and Weight Loss. I know very little about this, but my guest knows a lot. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to have a blast. So first, let me introduce you to a couple of things. I don't think we have any new homework or updates other than things are great at Stored Medical. We have, as I've mentioned before, 10 brand new operating rooms that are state of the art, and they're just amazing, and I love operating out of them. So thanks for Big Daddy Steward. We appreciate that. They've just done a wonderful job, and thank you for that. Taking care of our patients and taking care of us so that we can do our best job. So thanks for that. Let's start cruising through some stuff. Health risks. So I've been through these slides about 1,000 times. If you look at any of my old videos, you'll see them. This slide I actually like, so we're going to spend a hot minute on it. So if you check out this slide, the bottom line is BMI. And BMI is just basically take your height, take your weight, do a little division and a little multiplication, you come up with a number. The number is random. It doesn't really mean anything, right? So my BMI is about 27 and a half, which would tell you I'm overweight. I don't believe I am overweight. So I think that number is baloney. In fact, you got to know that it was first made in 1910 by the New York Metropolitan something. It was revised one time, I think in 1955, but it just doesn't mean that much because we were very different sizes, very different people back then. What does mean something is trends. If you followed that line out there and you get to somewhere around a BMI of 30, you start seeing all those trends, those lines going up. And that means, in theory, that medical diseases start happening after a BMI of 30. That means your body has lost the ability to kind of maintain homeostasis, maintain its ability to kind of fight off things like, sleep apnea, hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, yada, yada, yada. Even BMIs over 30 are somewhere in the 7 to 10 times risk for cancers. So all the antioxidants and all these other things go haywire, and it's just a trip. But don't worry. Super skinny people have the same problem. If you go to the other end of that spectrum, if you're a BMI under 18, guess what happens? All of the same medical problems start creeping up. So our bodies just like that range, somewhere from 20 to 28. It's just a good, happy place for us before we start developing medical problems. So that's why I just love this. So this is a good reason to maintain a BMI between, 20 and 28, so you can avoid medical problems. All right, I'm not worried about that. That is an ugly picture of me, but my partners, Barbara and Dr. Domkowski, look amazing, so good for them. And I think I was probably standing on something because I'm not that tall, so we're good. All right, this is just a good idea of a before and after. The picture on the left's a little dark, but that's a guy who used to weigh about 300 pounds. And obviously he's young because he's taking a selfie in a mirror or something. I don't really know what he's doing there, but nonetheless, that's also him on the after. So this is a guy who I'll kind of talk about a little bit more later, just because it's going to tie into our athleticism and workouts and physical exercise. Other than having great hair and a decent beard and a good smile, I guess there's not much more to talk about there. Options for metabolic surgery. These are the surgical options, right? Most people stopped doing bands because they didn't end up being what we wanted them to be, right? We were promised something, the patients were promised something. It just didn't turn out to be what we thought it was going to be. It ended up being about 30, maybe 40% of excess weight loss, and then there were complications down the road, such as slipped bands and other issues, right? And so it just didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. So it's pretty much been abandoned. Gastric bypass has been around for over like 70-something years, maybe even longer. We've been doing that for a long time. Sleeves have been around for over 20 years now, even longer in Europe. And the duodenal switches, which looked like it was an up and coming, but they have their own issues as well. Duodenal switches are great surgeries for weight loss and diabetics. However, they come with significant nutritional risks and things of that nature. So it just kind of depends. Your diabetes and super high BMI and all the things that come with that, or some nutritional issues, which we can, if monitored closely, we can offset those. So it just kind of depends. I'm not going to go through these again because I kind of want to get to our talk. So again, gastric bypasses, you lose weight in 2 ways. One, you're going to give a little tiny pouch. It's about the size of a goose egg, so 3 to 5 bites. And then you're also going to have an element of malabsorption, and that's why you can lose up to 80% of your extra weight in 1 year. Like, it's an awesome surgery. We talked about all the other benefits. The sleeve is actually where it's just restrictive. You're just going to remove about 90% of the stomach. So your stomach, they call it a sleeve, but really it's like a large banana. I'd say 5-6 bites, you're full. And in theory, that's what's going to stop you from losing weight. Here's the problem with both of these surgeries. I love them both. And by the way, all the great, wonderful benefits of a sleeve gastrectomy too. And I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. And great, forget it. Can I just get to the end of this? Let's forget that. And we are done. There's Barbara, that's fantastic. Let me tell you my problem with weight loss surgery. I'm a weight loss surgeon, and I got an issue with weight loss surgery. You can find a way around it. Here's the deal. It's a tool, right? At least that's what I call it. I think some people would agree, and this is going to be a nice, I just hit my microphone, so that was not good. I'll do that again in a minute, don't worry. But if you give someone a tool, right, you give them a screwdriver or a drill, and you said, drill in that screw, no problem. Screw it in. But if you give them a screwdriver and then you give them a nail, wrong tool, wrong job. The tool that is bariatric surgery says you can eat only so many bites before you're full. It doesn't say I can eat a few bites 26 times during the day. You could absolutely do that. And you can take in really, really high calorie liquids, right? So you can screw it up. You can regain your weight. You can do things. But I would tell you the good thing about bariatric surgery is if you give the patient a tool that says you can eat 3 to 6 bites at one setting before you're full, and they eat 3 meals a day, no snacking in between, and just stay hydrated and make sure that the first thing they eat during those meals is protein, it is almost fail-proof, almost fail-proof. So I'm going to go over those rules again, but I kind of want to just, I know I've skipped through the slides and you guys have seen them 1,000 times, so we can get through that, but I really want to just introduce my guest today. So my guest is Philip Keeling, who is a patient of mine, a very good friend of mine, and he's helped me not only personally in my career, just so much, but he's also someone who thinks he's going to challenge me into our talk today, which is physical training and weight loss. So we'll get to that in a minute. There has been a challenge issued, I don't know, a long time ago, of which I've held my end of this bargain and he's not had his, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But a very, very successful weight loss patient. You saw his picture earlier, that was him. Philip, tell us a little bit about you. Just give whatever you think is it, and then we're going to do a rapid fire question.
All right, so my name is Philip, and I had VSG 3 years next week.
A VSG, what is a VSG?
Vertical sleeve gastrectomy.
Okay, so you had a sleeve?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I had a sleeve, and I am coming up on my 3-year sleeve anniversary. I reached my goal weight in 8 months.
Yeah. Next week is your 3-year.
Yes, it is.
Our 3-year
yes,
anniversary.
It is.
Yeah, that's very good.
And so I don't know, it's changed my life. It definitely has had a huge impact.
It changed my life.
It did.
You know what? I've gotten Hallmark cards that changed my life. So
oh God, here we go.
How has it changed your life? What does that mean?
I mean, I went from being like a couch potato and you just don't feel good and I didn't perform as well in work and my personal life, and you start to have like health issues. Whereas post-surgery, I just started to feel healthier. I lived an active lifestyle. I traveled like crazy, things that I never thought I would be capable of doing.
Yeah, but the surgery didn't do that.
No, I was given a tool.
Okay.
I was given a tool.
Okay, so you would agree that the tool, if used correctly, can help you lose weight.
And maintain, yes.
But if I'm hearing you correctly, it's an attitude.
I think that attitude has a lot to do with it, absolutely.
Right, because you said it helped your work life,
Yeah.
you traveled more.
Yeah.
These aren't things that you were stopped from doing when you were 300 pounds, right? I mean, you were...
No, but I think they're more difficult to do.
I'll buy that for $1.
There's something weighing you down.
Oh, that was cute. That was actually pretty good. You had a good, nice play on words there. Okay, we're gonna play a little game.
All right.
It's called Rapid Fire. So Rapid Fire is just a way to warm it up, where you get to know my guest a little bit, and they're just silly questions, but you have to answer within 5 seconds. You don't get to just sit on this. Ready?
All right.
Okay, number 1. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Any blue?
Like dark blue. And
Dark
it's
blue.
like in my photo, it's like a nice navy blue.
Royal
Yes.
blue. Good. Worst selfie you've ever taken?
That elevator one. That
Oh,
we just saw.
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. You can pick any cartoon character to be your best friend. Who is it?
Ooh, Peter Pan.
Greatest idol you've ever had?
Ooh, my dad.
Dare you to show the audience your Peter Pan tattoo.
Okay.
Kick your leg up there. Peter Pan, look at that. That's awesome. You gotta see that. That's just so cool. I should have known you would answer Peter Pan. I should have known you would answer Peter Pan. Okay. You can travel anywhere in the world to meet one person. In the past, in the future, whoever. You get one.
Ooh. I don't know.
Come on, one. Just one.
Just one.
You got 5 seconds.
This is tough. I don't know.
Gandhi, the
We'll go with the Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama. I know who you would really go travel to see. I know who you would travel to see, but we'll talk about that later. All right. Now let's talk about, I guess, what we're here to talk about.
All right.
So this is, now we really know you. We've seen your legs. So glad I get in trouble with that one. But, okay, physical exercise and weight loss. All right. Now, would you say that you were, this is a stupid question, would you say that you were equally as successful with your weight loss and maintaining your weight loss with or without exercise?
I think that the exercise helped my success rate, and it helped me. No, I wouldn't say I would have been equally successful. I think that exercising and staying active, just like eating a proper diet, helped.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I think it's part of the tools that you're given.
Okay. So did you not have the desire to go work out when you were, 300 pounds?
No, joints hurt, out of breath, you're slow, you're sluggish.
Okay, so why now? Because you didn't just like go to the gym for my 20, 30 minutes, right? You wake up every morning and you bike 25 miles, you're swimming 6 miles, you're trying to get PRs every time, you're running, then you go CrossFit it up and then you're in the gym. You're insane. You do all this stuff. Something happened, like the switch flipped. What happened?
I think that I just started to find a new Philip. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but like you have this energy, you have this tool, and you're watching your body change dramatically. And I think the mindset for me was, I don't want to go back to where I was, and now I found something that I enjoy, like a new outlet. Instead of sitting on the couch and snacking, like I'd rather go out and get that endorphin rush from, nothing's better than a runner's high.
You're just looking to get high. Is that where we're going? I gotta be runner's high.
High on life.
That's right, high on life. High on life. Oh, I'm enjoying this. This is so much fun for me. Okay, now if I'm correct, you issued me a challenge about, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago even?
I think you issued the challenge.
No, that's not the way I remember it. I
It's on video.
specifically remember You were training for an Ironman.
Yes.
You just finished your first marathon.
I did.
And you were just going to kind of carry that over. By the way, a marathon. A marathon. For those who don't know, it's 26 and change, right? 26.2. And that's a long way. And this guy had never, what's the farthest you think you'd ever run?
5K.
5K,
Yeah.
like ever.
Yep.
And you just tackled.
I had a buddy who I trained with, and we had a very strict schedule, but yeah, we killed it. It was amazing. It was a quad bridge run, so it was tough. But it was
I will
awesome.
say, I received this picture, and there's ice packs on your knees, and there's
I'm on a cot.
blisters on your feet, like he's on a cot. Like I think there's IVs, but it's just crazy. But you got to remember, after a sleeve too, and you did it shortly after
8
sleeve.
months.
It wasn't easy just to hydrate, right?
No,
So
that was probably the hardest part for me is adjusting my body's needs versus the capabilities, because the sleeve does kind of hinder your ability to rehydrate. So I found Pedialyte, that became my new best friend. Constantly remembering to.
So you can't just chug and
No,
catch up, right?
no.
So that, yeah, good. All right, but
Chug and throw
so then
up.
you took this marathon and you went on. You said, "I'm going to conquer
An Ironman.
An
It's a
Ironman."
goal. It is a goal.
For those of you who don't know what an Ironman is, what is it?
It's the ultimate triathlon. So you swim 2, bike 120, and then you do a full marathon at the end.
For fun.
I mean,
Swim 2,
yeah,
2 miles. Okay.
that's the worst part.
That's the worst
That is
part,
the
he
worst
says.
part. And it's an open water swim.
Bike 120,
Still horrible.
just fun, just 'cause we're warming up for the
Run
marathon
at the end.
at the end. And then they time it, correct? I mean,
Yeah,
that
you wear a chip. Yeah.
how do you
My goal would be under 13 hours.
under 13 hours?
Yeah.
There's some ridiculousness going on here, right? We do know this is crazy.
I don't think so. I don't think it's crazy. I think that the human body is an amazing thing, and why not push it to its limit if you can?
Listen, for a guy who 3 years ago calls himself a couch potato, you are amazing. But the challenge was that if you were going to do an Ironman,
So you made the challenge. I didn't.
I don't think
slipped
it
up.
went that way. I don't think that way. I did say if you did an Ironman,
You'd run the next one with me.
I would do the next one with you.
Yes, you did.
I was kind of assuming you'd probably get injured really bad during the first one, and so I wouldn't have to do it.
I would literally get a wheelchair and wheel my way
Yeah, you
just to
would.
watch you suffer. Actually, you'd probably need the wheelchair by the
So
end.
here it is, folks. Just so we can make this official. You finish an Ironman under 13 hours.
Okay.
I will run the next one with you, or whatever. The deal.
We have an agreement?
Oh boy, that sounds painful.
You should probably up your life insurance.
Wait a minute. What's the age difference between us? Does that give me a handicap, or is it?
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm
like-
old.
you're
I'm
55?
White hair, old. Well, 55. Yeah, that's me. Jerk. Anyway, here's the beauty of this: is that it's a win-win for both of us, right? So, I've always just been impressed with you for many, many reasons. Obviously, we're friends. The beauty is we never met before the day you walked into my office.
Yep.
And we've become friends. And one of the many reasons why, is that I've rarely met someone who means what they say, says what they mean, and is just, you're going to follow through. So here's my thing. I'm making this challenge knowing full well that I'll be doing an Ironman next year. I know that, and I love it. So it's one of the things I love about you. Just one of the things I love about you. All right, so let's talk about actual physical training.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about, forget weight loss surgery.
All right.
Let's talk about how does somebody approach going from the couch to the gym to a marathon. I mean, I would tell you, let's go all the way to a marathon, but let's start with step one. How do you get off the couch? How do you start there? Is it diet and exercise first? Is it a motivational factor? Did you have to find something that just reminded you every day, like this is your motivation? What do you do?
So, it's kind of weird for me, but when I had my surgery, I won't forget that, like you, Barbara Allen, the nurses, one of the first things was do laps. And kind of from day one, I remember being in the hospital.
You mean like in the hallway?
Yeah,
Like,
doing
okay,
laps.
all right,
And
do
so
laps.
it's baby steps. Then you get home and take a few weeks, you slowly recover, you're adjusting your diet, you're going through the different phases, the liquid, the soft, all that wonderful change.
So I got to stop you there. This wasn't something you had in your mind before the surgery. You weren't thinking, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to be a marathoner.
No, not at all.
Okay, so, all right, but remember, this is not a weight loss surgery.
Right.
This is like anyone.
Yeah.
How do they go from the couch?
You just, baby steps. Baby steps. You don't have to change like overnight. I mean, it's get off the couch and go do a lap around your neighborhood. All right, so after that, then why don't you do a fast walk? Then you're gonna go to a jog, and then you're gonna get into distance, and you're trying to just slowly increase it. Maybe you're increasing the intensity or the distance, but it's just a slow progression, and I think that as you progress, for me, you fall in love with it. You fall in love with the change that you're seeing occur.
Ooh, I like that. So that's an interesting thing. So you're saying that something changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that. I think that that's really important, and I'm so glad you came to that, like kind of on your own, because I think the motivation at the beginning is, I want to lose some weight. Maybe I need to get off the couch and just get in shape. I don't like feeling like this. But I think somewhere along the lines, and I love the idea of baby steps, right? You said, baby goals. Like the goal this week is, to exercise 3 days for 40 minutes. Right. Or the goal this week is blankety blank, right? Whatever it is. Small goals, right? Because failure sucks.
It does.
Right? And then we are driven by our successes.
We are.
So I think that those things are things to remember. So set yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
Right off the bat. But then you said, but then I started loving it.
Did, yeah.
What did you love about it? 'Cause it's painful.
It is, but the pain.
Would you love getting up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever it was?
No, the hardest, I'll stop really quick before I go into what I love about it. The hardest part for me is starting. So getting up when that alarm goes off, it's very easy to roll over and be like, snooze, snooze, snooze. So your dog jumps in bed.
Just ask
like
my wife, trust me.
But
I hit snooze all the time.
you get up and you get going, and you slowly, you start to enjoy it, and you're seeing these changes and what you're able to do, like while things are changing, is you're seeing your body change. And then for me, it's like, I want more. I want more. I want to continue to push myself. If I can do that, I can push the envelope a little bit more.
Awesome. All right, I do see your questions coming in, and we're going to get to them in just a minute, but I kind of want to finish this story. Can I get a time check? Where are we at? Am I 20 in, 30 minutes in? Oh, great. We're doing 20 minutes in. We're solid. Okay, so now you love it. Like, I feel good. I'm looking good. I'm improving left and right. Now, I would tell you 75 to 80% of people can get there. Because I think everybody, that's the New Year's resolution, right? Or whatever. Like, I'm dieting, I lost some weight, I'm going to the gym. 80% of us can get there.
Right.
How do you get to the other 20%? How do you not stop? How do you not get hung up? What drives you? And you've had some hiccups.
Yeah.
Like your Ironman that you were supposed to run got canceled because of COVID after you had trained for months for it. But you haven't stopped.
No.
Okay, so how do you go from that 80%? How do you get to the next step?
I think a big part of it is I've had some really good accountability partners. Like, it's not just
Say that again. Accountability partners.
So when I was training for my marathon, I trained with someone. He actually lived out of town. Hi, Scott, if you're watching, by the way.
Hi, Scott. You're his accountability partner. By the way, that's a great Scrabble word. Let's talk accountability. That's what, 6? So there's a lot going on there. Go ahead.
So the accountability part of it, like having someone that says, hey, we're supposed to be doing 13 miles this Saturday. Let's go. Showing up. And for me, like I printed out my schedule, same with the Ironman schedule, print out on 8.5 by 11. I put it on the fridge, and every day when I would mark off a block, like it's in your face, and your roommate's like, hey, you didn't train yesterday. I saw you didn't highlight it.
Okay, so I love that. Let's stop there for 2 seconds because I want to list this. Accountability partners, and not just one.
No, I had a few. I had someone nutrition-wise who, like, there was a point where I was not being the best person taking care of my nutrition. I was just so focused on the runs. And I had someone say, hey, you're starting to look a little emaciated.
Sure.
You need to work on your nutrition. You need to be careful. One night I went out for a run. I didn't hydrate properly. Got lightheaded and bloop, like a sack of potatoes. But so it's having someone who, one, is getting you to show up.
Okay.
to having someone who's helping you with the diet and watching it. Like, I mean, yeah, I can go run 6 miles, but then if I go home and eat a carton of Ben & Jerry's, did it really do anything for me?
Right. So there's an accountability partner, but and you had numerous, right? So Team Philip, right?
Yes.
Team Philip, which by the way works inversely. You're the accountability partner for them, right? So that's a great relationship. But I love that you had more than one, right? Because one can fail you, right? That's like, you know, in the what is it, TSA or whatever. There's like the whole concept of flying is that there are flight checks so that this will not happen.
Right.
Failure is not an option.
Correct.
And I love that you just kind of, by the way, Philip flies, which is great. But I think I love that mentality. I just put the two together. Like you have a flight list. And you said this is not going to fail. I put in all
Set
these.
yourself up for success.
Set yourself up for success. Okay, so accountability partners. Then next was what? What else we got?
What else pushed me that 20? Like having an overall goal in mind for me is what took me from that 80 to 20. I knew I wanted to achieve something that I always thought was impossible. And I just always thought it was impossible. And then making it a public like declaration, I put on my Facebook like, hey, I'm training for an Ironman, and you post about your runs. Well, guess what? People catch on if you slack off. Like for me, it was like putting it out there and taking ownership over it. And I think that also helped get me that next 20%.
I love that too. Okay, so you took your baby goals and you built yourself up through that 80%, but then you said, I want to do something that's almost superhuman. I want to do something super Philip, like something I never really thought I could do.
Yep.
Then you did it, marathon. And then you said, well, forget that. If I could do that, I'm going all in.
Yeah, and I think the marathon, for me, it wasn't just a physical journey, it was a mental journey. And I'm a firm believer that just as much as I was working on my physical fitness and health, I was working on my mental health, because most of, in my opinion, those workouts are all mental.
Sure, I believe that.
So
I think sometimes gaining weight can be a very mental problem.
Absolutely.
Right? Depression, anxiety, stress, things that we're really good at in this country and in this world. I think they lead to, you know, issues, right? We're gaining weight.
Right.
How do you fight those? How do you fight depression? How do you, those things don't creep back into your life now that you're thin, Philip, and feeling
No, losing weight wasn't just an end-all be-all for everything. No, you still have issues, you still have life.
Right.
But I think that for me, physical fitness has been a coping mechanism. So when they do creep back in, what do? And I have a bad day, instead of, you know, going to old vices, go home and eat ice cream or something, or not work out, you go and run 13 miles instead of 6. You handle your business.
You gotta go take it out on the pavement.
Absolutely.
I believe in that. I have a punching bag, and I take it out on the bag. Actually, the bag takes it out on me, but
don't hurt yourself.
I'm old. I'm an old man, right?
I know,
so don't worry about it. All right, let's answer a couple questions. I loved all that. So let's just recap. Accountability partners is really, really good. I think mini goals and then an overall goal, something that you've always maybe wanted and you just didn't get after. I love the idea that instead of seeing exercise as a, you know, this thing that you've got after and this goal, like maybe it is also a therapy.
So can we touch on that?
Yeah, touch on it.
So, and this is me just being very raw. Halfway through my training, I went through a very unexpected loss, and most people would fall apart, but I really leaned on my physical fitness and my newfound health to get me through that, like help me navigate the loss of a loved one. And so like, I think that for fitness, for me, you can not only use it to improve your overall health, but use it as a coping mechanism.
No, you're talking about your father.
Yes.
Yes. Which, by the way, if you could go back in time and meet anybody and talk about anything,
yes, it would be my dad.
I thought it would be your answer.
Yeah,
I know your dad is very special
absolutely.
to you. And I know we've talked about this a bunch, but I can assure you your dad looks down and smiles really big, guaranteed.
Thank you.
Even though you're only half the man literally that you used to be, but you know. All right, let's ask some questions.
Yeah.
Ready? All right. Ask anyone else tried a marathon or have a fitness goal in mind? Okay, so I have had a few patients run some marathons, which is really, really wonderful. I have never had a patient do an Ironman, so you will certainly be the first ever to accomplish that. I also had a young lady who ended up being on a college swim team.
Really?
Who was significantly overweight before even going. She walked onto the team and crushed it after that.
Wow.
I'm supposed to ask you, Philip, did you have skin removal surgery?
So I did not. And losing 80, 90 pounds, a lot of people like, you didn't have skin surgery. Well, I think another really cool part of working out every day after surgery is you're losing weight not only because of the surgery, but you're also tightening as you go. You're kind of toning, you're really focused on that. And I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so exercise is huge. I will say age has something to do with it. You are young, right? So your skin snapped back pretty good, which is great. You're a guy. Guys typically carry their weight in their midriff, whereas women kind of are evenly distributed. So I would say age has a lot to do with it. Genetics has a lot to do with it too. I'm obviously, I don't think you are not a hater on weight or skin removal surgeries.
No, not at all.
Go nuts, right?
Yeah, like you are your own person. So if it makes you happy and that's what you want to do, and you still are a little insecure, go for it.
I feel like you've earned it at that point,
Yeah,
right? Like you've earned it.
You've earned that badge,
right? Plus, there can be some physical issues with that, right? Like too much hangover can cause rashes. It can interrupt your workouts. It can actually be painful. Yep. So I totally agree with that.
Though I got lucky, you know.
You did get well. You're not just lucky. You worked hard for that. But that's a great question. Will weight loss surgery impact my exercise routine? So you kind of touched on that, like hydration and stuff. You want to talk about that?
So it's gonna, for me, it was a huge impact on my routine because you have to continuously remind yourself, when I'm on a run, all right, every mile I pop a goo after my first 3 miles. And it's like,
what's a goo?
It's a little supplement you take, and it's got some nutrients, some electrolytes in it, and you just have to do that to continue to be able to push yourself, so you're fueling your body. So yes, that impacted it. For my long runs, I have to use base salts, and essentially it's just a quick way to get electrolytes in your system, and adjusting to the hydration, because I can't stop at a water station during a race and chug a bunch of water.
Right. I would add to that, so for those of you who aren't maybe trying to attack a marathon, obviously, goo is a good source, right? It's a little packet. You can nail it back. It tastes a little funny,
no,
but
the marshmallow one's on point.
Oh, the marshmallow.
Get the marshmallow.
Go with that one. But pre-hydration before any workout, even if you're just going to Planet Fitness and killing the treadmill for 30 minutes, I just think it's important.
Yeah, before a run, I normally would get one of the, and you find creative ways to pre-hydrate. So instead of drinking a giant Pedialyte, I found the Pedialyte packets, and I would just take a really concentrated, instead of a jug of water, I would put it in 8 ounces.
Yeah, and I love Pedialyte, and like something like a G2 that doesn't have all the sugar and all the stuff. You can actually drink that through your workout, and you'll never really get lightheaded, and you'll be good. So I think those are really good points. What type of exercises should I start out after I'm cleared from surgery?
Ooh.
Oh, you handle that one. Go for it. What you're after?
Well, it's what you're after, but also what interests you. For me, I love cardio. I think cardio is the best thing in the world. But
it's actually a great point. Like, if you hate what you're doing,
you're going to be miserable.
You're never going to do it, right?
I don't like to lift weights personally. I love cardio. Nothing to me is better than hopping in the pool, swimming, going and killing a bike ride, and just like putting everything in and push my heart rate.
I obviously like lifting weights, but
well, you better change that
really.
mindset a little bit.
Not really, obviously. Yeah, I got nothing. But I am not a cardio person, and that's actually one of the reasons why I accept the challenge of the Ironman, because I'm not. I was built for short distance and small times. Should I start weight training or cardiac exercises?
Cardiac.
I say a mixture. So I really love, I think, to get the best bang for your buck. Now, you've done everything from CrossFit to weightlifting to cardio, right? And swimming, I mean, biking, you are a true ultra athlete. I'm not, right? And so I find ways to mix it up. So when I was younger, I did get really big at one point in my life. I had stopped wrestling, and for the first time in my life, I was able to just like gain weight and gain muscle. Like, so I was like 152 pounds is where I wrestled. Then all of a sudden I found myself in the gym 2-a-days, hours a day, taking supplements, and I got to about 210, 215, but all muscle, right? I was miserable, but I was really big. I would say that was ridiculous. I hate running. I do ride the Peloton, but I just struggle with cardio. So I have found that like if you do a Nautilus type, like a circuit training.
Yeah.
So I go to the gym and everybody makes fun of me. You make fun of me. It's okay. I have these big headphones on, right? Because they're just gnarly, big old man headphones.
The wire hanging down.
No, it's Bluetooth. It's not the wire, punk. But I will tell you that I cancel everybody out. I put on some tunes, and then I do not stop between sets. Like no more than 10-second break. I just go. So everyone else is like, lifting and talking, and I'm sweating and lifting. So I think you could turn a weightlifting exercise into kind of a fat burning cardio?
Yeah, you can.
Is that what you would say? Well, what's CrossFit for you?
Well, so CrossFit, like you go through different circuits, but you're kind of you're mixing in cardio with every workout. You're also getting in the weight. But
is that a novice thing? Like, can somebody right out of bariatric surgery tackle that?
Yeah, I mean, you just need to go to the right box and make sure they're working with you so you don't hurt yourself and you're adjusting. You're not going to go in and start doing box jumps and rope climbs.
All right, so let's do a what do they call that? A shout out for CrossFit, because I think you're right. I think that the instructors at a place like that, or Orange Theory, will work with you. They'll meet you where you are.
Right, and that for me, like I don't like going to a normal gym because I want someone to honestly make sure I don't get hurt, but hold my hand and make sure I'm doing the right thing. Correct. Like if I'm going to work out on my own, I'm going to go run, bike, or swim.
Right, good posture, good whatever. And there's another accountability partner.
Right.
You show up to CrossFit and they are all up in your grill, right? And so I think, I've never done a CrossFit workout in my life, but I like the concept.
It's a good concept. You can get hurt though.
Yeah. Well, what I would say is, so somebody says, what can I do? I would tell you, if you're young and you want the best results, oh man, go to CrossFit 4 days a week. I think you'll rip out. What do you think?
You will, but for me, I mean, I prefer the cardio stuff. I love it.
Yeah, but you're good at going out there in your head and just disappearing. All right, with the new lifestyle that includes a new food and calorie intake, will I get the energy I need for exercising? That's you, buddy.
All right, so you will, but it's making the right decisions and like knowing you need to get the most out of the small amounts you can take in. So I always struggle to hit my protein for the day. I struggle, and so like I believe this was when I was training for the marathon. I said, Dr. Radecke, I'm having issues getting this protein. Like it's hard. I can't eat all this chicken or pound a shake and da da da. And so you actually said to me, and I have a thing of it in my fridge right now, the protein water. It's a little shot.
Sure.
What is it, like 30 grams?
Bam.
Like, boom.
Kill it.
Yeah. It's like less than, 6 ounces?
Yeah.
So you find creative ways to make the most out of what you can take in. I think that also, if you're eating the right stuff and you're on a regimented diet and really plan it out, for me, Sundays, I meal prep so that I'm not hitting a drive-through or making bad decisions. I know if I'm going to be working out, I need to put the right stuff in my body. So I think you can get those energy levels, but it's making the right decisions.
All right, I'm going to switch gears around. Any other questions? Keep them coming. They're typing them in. We'll read them off. So, what weight can you have surgery? So, weight for surgery is BMI is over 35 with 2 comorbidities, or BMI over 40 doesn't require any comorbidities. But if you're paying for the surgery yourself, you could be a 28, 29, 30 BMI if you've shown that you just struggle with it and stuff like that. So that's a good question. But let's switch gears. I want to talk about your rules to being a successful weight loss patient, and more importantly than just losing the weight, maintaining, right?
Yeah.
Where 3 years you have rocked this weight for the entire 8 months out, like the whole time, but you're not allowed to talk about exercise. Everybody knows you're an exercise guy, but what else do you got? What are the rules? For you,
and I know that you hate this term, but I'm going to say it. One of the first things I did when I hit my goal was I went through my closet and I threw out all my fat clothes. So
I do hate that word,
I know you
but
do.
that's okay.
But so I made sure there's nothing, like I wear a size 31 or 32 pant now, depending on the brand. Well, if you start to creep up a little bit, you're knowing it, and you don't have something else you can just go grab and throw on.
So you would tell everybody to go get some skinny jeans?
I didn't say that. I said make sure that you have stuff that if you start to put weight back on, it's restrictive and you notice. Okay. So for me, it would become an inconvenience if I gained weight.
So one of Philip's rules would be get rid of your clothes, your
Plus size
previous life clothes.
Yes.
All right.
Your
All
pre-op
right.
clothes.
I like that. It goes with one of Radecke's rules, which is we're never going back.
Right.
You can't go back. You
It's
ain't
not an
going
option.
back. That's not an option. All right. What else you got?
So for me, I weigh every single morning. I know some people are like, nah, you should do it once a week. Yeah, I weigh every morning. I get out of the shower and I go straight to my scale.
So the accountability scale.
Yes, it's like, and I have my numbers.
Okay.
I established them with my amazing physician.
There you
so
go.
I know if I creep up to 178, I'm like, whoa, I gotta adjust what I'm eating. But if I get down to 168, I know we have a problem.
So I love that, because let's stop and talk about that, because I do the same thing. You know that. I set my numbers up are 177 and 191. Right. If I get anywhere near those numbers,
Right.
I go into DEFCON 4.
Yeah.
Is that how you approach it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I do too. So I would say if you're a successful weight loss patient, or you've just lost weight on your own, I don't care, anybody, you set up the numbers. Once you find your happy place, your number that you love, and you're happy with yourself, you feel good. I don't care if anybody else thinks you're still too big or still too thin. If you're happy and you love it, then you need to set up your numbers.
Right.
Now, how did we set up your numbers?
Oh.
Did somebody just say, Philip, you look too skinny at 159?
No, I think that honestly we didn't establish my numbers till like 2 years post-op. And we had just kind of found, based on my exercise, my diet, my weight loss, we found like where my sweet spot was. What was I comfortable with in my body, but also what was my physician, my surgeon, comfortable with as my doctor, saying that this is a healthy, safe zone, but then mirroring that with where was I comfortable.
Right. Well, as much as you exercise, though, you needed some reserve.
Yes.
Like we needed some in the tank.
Yep.
When you're trying to do races like you do, you need some in the tank. For anybody else, I would just say, where you're happy, where you can work out and not inhibited, you don't feel lightheaded, you're not having electrolyte imbalances, not too thin, not too thick.
Yep.
But also give yourself a little wiggle room.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, so kind of piggybacking on that, for me, one other big thing to be successful is like allow yourself to have a cheat a week. Like
a cheat a week.
Like if you want a cheeseburger, go out and get a cheeseburger, but maybe don't get the bun, have it wrapped in lettuce. And that's my cheat for the week. Like I want a bacon cheeseburger. I can only eat a fourth of it, but
I agree.
So that also, like, still be able to enjoy things, and it kind of for me has given an incentive to do well because I can reward myself.
Okay, I like that. That kind of goes with the Radecke rule of pay it forward kind of thing. So try not to cheat, right? But if you're going to cheat, so like I think you know this. Like my thing is mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yes.
Right. So I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's where we're at, people. Real is real.
Garbage.
We're being real here. It's garbage. It is garbage.
Garbage.
However, here's what I think about that though. 1 cup of mint chocolate chip ice cream is 330 calories.
Okay.
I know that it takes me about 23 minutes in running shoes or 20 minutes on a Peloton
To kill that.
to kill 300 to 400 calories.
So is the reward worth it?
So here's the thing though. It's like the grocery store. I pay for my food before I eat it.
There you go.
So I jump on the Peloton, I hit that run, I come back, I shower, I grab my ice cream, and I have no regrets.
Because you earned it.
That's right. So it wasn't really cheating, right? There was no regrets.
Right.
But the other benefits are from exercise, you increase your metabolism by about 10 to 15% for the next 48 hours.
Right.
So you actually burned a lot more than that cup of ice cream. So I like that. Just reward yourself.
Yes.
All right, what else you got? Anything else?
Follow the rule book.
Follow the rule book.
I have it in my kitchen drawer. You get it before surgery, and I think that I refer to that thing all the time. Just double check stuff. And some of the rules you think are dumb, but they really do make a big difference, like straws. Like for me, I don't do straws, and I'm very, like, I try to be very conscientious about it. But also, like, go through and read what you can and can't eat. The serving size, it can be a mental battle. So use the smaller plate. Like, just follow the rules. They're set there to give you tools for success. If you don't follow them, what are you going to expect?
I agree. So what Philip's referring to is that there are typically manuals. Like almost every weight loss surgery program should have one. And they're given to you before surgery. And you should read through that and very familiarize yourself. But ours has a lot of those kind of helpful tips and hints and stuff like that to kind of pull you through. So I agree. Anything else?
Yeah, don't avoid your doctor. So
don't avoid your doctor.
Yeah, no, like I will say something that for me, and I won't say any names, but I know some people that have had weight loss surgery before, and they'll gain, and we'll be talking. I'll be like, hey, go see your doctor. Well, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to go see your doctor before it gets out of hand. Like I know if I walk 100%. In here and I'm way, you're like, Philip, what an actual?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's so funny you said it, because here's what I've found with people who come to me, whether I did their surgery or like somebody else did their surgery years ago. They come into me and like the first question I ask them is, okay, so where did you start? And they're like, oh, 353. I'm like, okay, what's the lowest you got to? Oh, 185. I'm like, that's great. Where are you today? 260. I'm like, okay, all right, we're still winning. Next question. How much can you eat if we sit down and like to a 6-inch sub? And most of them say, what would you say? How much could you eat?
If I pull the bread out?
No, a 6-inch half.
If I'm lucky.
That's the trick. So here you are 3 years later, and you still have the tool.
6-7 bites and
you're done. So I would tell you, all these folks that come into me and they've regained weight, I ask them that same question, and guess what they say?
I can eat the whole thing.
No. Most of them say half, maybe a third. And I say, so you still got the tool? And they kind of look at me and like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess. And I'm like, great, let's work with that. Okay. All they've done is they've broken the rules.
Right.
They're grazing all day long. They're doing all these things. So I always quote this because I read it in a magazine once. I hope it's right because I think it is. You ever heard the saying, don't trust a skinny chef?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
They don't enjoy their food.
Yeah. So they're tasting food all the time. Their life is food. And so if I read this in an article once, guess how many calories a chef takes in on top of their 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day, like on top of that, just from tasting food all day long?
13,000.
13,000? That you mean 1,300?
Yeah, 1,300.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a long day.
So that's it. Yeah, 3,800 extra calories in a day from tasting food. But you can imagine where this is, right? It's like 20 calories here, 30 calories here. There's a pasta. That's right. And it's all day long.
Yes, it is.
So I always tell people snacking is one of the worst things you could ever do, grazing. So again, the tool says I can only eat so much at one time.
Right. So, but if you're doing that 8 times throughout the day, you got a problem.
That's right. So you take your meals, then you add in snacking. And people even say, but it's an apple. I say, it's a calorie. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
Calories are calories. You're either in a calorie deficit or you're in a calorie excess, right? So do you watch your calories? Do you do your macros? Do you do any of that stuff?
I did it first, honestly. Okay. I used to use, MyFitnessPal.
Sure.
And I used, when I was on the decline, I tracked everything.
I was going to say, if I know you were OCD about it, right?
I was OCD, very much so.
Okay.
And if I'm in a hardcore training, yes, but day to day, no, because I think I've gotten to a place where I know what I can and can't do. I know, like, all right, what did I have for breakfast this morning? I had half an avocado and some eggs.
Right.
Well, then I know, and I try to get some protein in, but like for me, I don't really track anymore. I try and make good decisions. Now, I will say if like my weight starts to creep up, I will analyze like, all right, what am I doing? But I also
love that.
The meal prep thing for me is I know what I'm packing for my lunch. I know that I've gotten everything planned out. So I've kind of already made a roadmap, and I'm not having to sit on my phone and be like, oh my God, I gotta plug that in.
Right.
So
would you say that you think it's a good idea to count your macros?
Absolutely. You should.
Okay. I 100% agree. So I'm baiting you, right? So
I know.
I agree. Now here's the thing, just like you, I think knowing your macros and knowing your calories are so good, but once you've memorized the 6 or 7 meals I can have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and then you mix it up, well, you already know your macros, right? Then you could just step on the accountability scale every day and be like, yeah, I kind of screwed that up in the last couple of days, right?
Yep.
You pull back.
You do.
I think the only caveat to that is that maybe age does have something to do with that, because you do have some slowing of the metabolism, or maybe you're exercising less and you need to adjust your numbers, based on age and like how much exercise you're doing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Liquid calories, watch out for those, like the sneaky ones.
Yeah, 100%. All right. About exercise.
Yes.
Do you think that you're just doing all this so successfully because you're young?
No.
So you're saying just any old, 62-year-old weight loss patient of mine can go out there tomorrow and run a marathon?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so wait a minute. What does it mean?
Success looks different for everyone. There's factors that are involved.
That was good. That was good. I give you credit for that one. Success looks different for everyone.
Right.
Okay.
So success for me might be finishing an Ironman in 13 hours. Success for you might be like not dying.
Savage. That was savage. Did you hear that? It was savage. I'm gonna mark my words. I'm gonna beat him.
This is recorded, right?
Mark my words.
Perfect.
It's coming.
All right.
It's coming.
We'll have the ambulance waiting at the halfway point for you.
I'll be in an ambulance after the swim. You bring a life vest so I can just get after that.
But no, success looks different for everyone. So I'm 30 years old. Obviously, I think my weight, my diet, my age is gonna create an atmosphere for me to have a better like PR than maybe somebody.
Sure. But I also would caution, and I know you agree with this, I'm just saying it out loud. I would never underestimate your goal. Like if you're 70, you can get to the mailbox and back right now. That's where you're at. I don't think I would make your goal walking a mile. Why not make it 2?
Yeah.
Why not make it a 5K? What is that old saying? If you shoot for the moon and shoot for the stars and only get to the moon, you still did pretty good, or what?
No, you shoot for the moon and you miss, you still land amongst the stars.
Something about that. Except for the stars are further away. Somebody help us out with that, please. I need you to just tag in and like tell me what that saying is. I thought it was like if you shoot for the stars and you only make it to the moon, you still did pretty good, or it's something ridiculous. But
something like that.
Yeah, but I'm old, so whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right, this is your turn. This is your turn to say, look at a camera and talk to people, not just about weight loss, but exercise and how it's changed your life.
Okay. Gosh, wow, that's heavy. So it has completely changed my life to levels I never even fathomed when I was talking to you and Barbara Allen and the team about having the surgery. I'm just like, I want to get healthy. I never imagined 3 years ago that I would be going skiing every year and doing a black diamond, or being able to water ski, or
oh my God, you just skied
in a Teletubby outfit.
A black diamond and a Teletubby outfit, and you coaxed one of your friends into doing it with you. You're a horrible person, and you have really great friends. So.
I have awesome friends, but I think that it's opened up a new life for me that I didn't think that was possible. I never thought that I would be out doing some of the stuff I am doing today, and I think that a lot of that is because I lost weight, which enabled me to start working out, which enabled me to live a healthier lifestyle and find new loves and passions. The only thing that I would have done sooner or differently is I would have had my surgery much sooner. I wouldn't have yo-yoed and tried all the crash diets and...
Yeah, but that leads me to another question.
Okay.
Do you think that timing does mean something with this? Like, are you mentally ready for this, for weight loss surgery, for exercise? Like, would you have been ready at 25? I mean, 23.
I don't think so. I think that I had to get to a place mentally where I knew what I was doing, what decision I was making, and I was taking control of my life. And so no, maybe a little bit earlier, if I could have gotten to that point, I would have done it sooner. And I would have liked to, live my life freely a little sooner. Mm-hmm. But I think that when you're ready. And if you're going to sit and have a conversation with your physician, your doctor, your surgeon, and he's telling you, you're saying, hey, Philip, you can't do X, Y, and Z anymore. You need to adjust it. Well, if you're still like, you know what, I'm going to sneak it. Screw what he says.
Yeah.
If you're not ready.
You can't, yeah.
No, you got to understand that this isn't just getting 90% of your stomach cut out and all your problems are gone. This is a lifestyle change.
So I would completely agree with you. And I would say, obviously different people have different reasons for coming to the show, right? You wanted your life back. Yep. I would say most people can kind of look forward in their lives 5, 10, 20 years down the road and they go, if I stay on this track, that's not where I want to be.
Right.
And that could be different reasons, right?
Mhm.
You were not diabetic, hypertensive, sleep apnea, You just were overweight and you were young and you were like, this is not me.
Yeah, and there was men in my family that had cardiovascular issues, and I didn't want to get to that point. I wanted to prevent it.
Right. But then obviously there's the people out there who are, 40, 50, 60, 70, and they say, I'm tired of sticking myself with these needles.
Right.
I'm tired of I got a pill box.
Yeah.
Like I never thought I'd be the pill box person, right? And so we all have different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the average person does wait 2 to 10 years. They think about weight loss surgery.
Wow.
And then, they get to it. Which brings me to another one. Most of them say, I just thought it would be the easy way out. Is it the easy way out?
No, it's not, and I thought that.
So you were one of those?
I was one of
What changed your mind?
Well, one of my really good friends had surgery with Dr. Domkowski, and I came home one summer and I saw she lost all this weight, and I'm like, wow. So I called her and I said, what happened? And she told me, and I pretty much was like, so you took the easy way out? Because there's a stigma.
You said that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And she was like, why don't you go find out for yourself?
Ooh.
And so I did. I made an appointment and I showed up and I saw Barbara Allen my first 3 visits, and then I met you, and I had decided at that point that that's what I wanted. It wasn't something I contemplated. I guess when I make my mind up, I'm just like, let's run with it.
So I think I hear what you're saying. You're saying to dream big.
Yeah.
Be brave,
Be bold.
be rad.
Yeah.
That was cute. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That's a very nice shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's
It's pretty cool.
Well, listen, I cannot thank you enough for coming here tonight. I think we're done with questions. Is that right? All right. We've crushed our time here, so I'm sorry. We're gonna cut it off. But I just can't thank you enough. Not only for being in my life. I think you're a very important person to me. You drive. It's a rare occasion, and it is. It's a rare occasion that a patient gets to affect their physician in a positive manner. You've challenged me. You've taught me a lot about my patients. You've helped me forge my career. So there are just so many things I'm appreciative of you for. And for yourself, just being an example. You truly live by example. And not a lot of people can say that. So I commend you. You're an excellent friend, you're an excellent patient, and you are a hell of an athlete. So for that matter, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
My friend, my brother. Guys, thank you so much. I hope this talk was fun. Amanda said it was her favorite talk yet.
All right.
Love you for that. And man, she and her husband, I think they give you a run for their money, buddy.
Right.
They are hardcore athletes too.
That's awesome.
So I think it's great. Thank you guys so much. This is fun. This is what we
awesome.
do. So God bless you. Have a good night. Mwah.